Hey there YouTube, I'm over at Motorcars Toyota of Cleveland Heights again, and today I'm going to bring you all this 2014 Toyota Corolla. This happens to be the S Plus trim level. Now for 2014 the Corolla sees a major redesign both in the interior and exterior. Mechanically almost the same, but there's a new gearbox of choice. Now, I'm loving this blue crushed metallic color. Remember, this is the S Plus, so it's mid-range near the top of the line. Sports a sunroof, standard backup camera too. Toyota did a pretty good job sticking to the Furia concept that we saw in Detroit last year. This car pumps in fresh air into the lineup. Now with every Corolla, even with the plain Jane L model, you get standard LED headlamps. No other car in this class has that. The back as well, radically different from its boring predecessor, definitely in line in terms of style with its competitors. Massive wheels, four-wheel disc brakes, tire size 215/45/17, some turn signal indicators on the mirrors, and also the mirrors are heated. And a look at the window sticker, you'll see the color, it was manufactured, Detroit, MPGs, 29 city, 37 highway, and all the standard equipment. We'll move down for all of that. And a $21,585 sticker price. And a look at this fresh looking interior. It has a rather utilitarian look to it, but in a good way. Qualities are much better throughout. Looking at the dashboard, you can tell that they took some styling cues from the current generation Scion TC, specifically with the dashboard and the AC vents. Though on the door panel, everything here is hard to the touch. Everything's a plastic finish except for the armrest, which is padded. I do like the exposed stitching here. Auto up and down functions for the driver window, door locks, and the window lock. And into the door pocket you have a cup holder or for water bottles and such. The seat isn't powered. This is to adjust the height of the seat and for the backrest there. Now, I do like this cloth combo here. You can have these inserts in different colors too. That will be a nice touch. This particular Corolla doesn't sport push-button start, but it is offered. The key fob is integrated into the key. Lock, unlock, hold to unlatch the trunk, and panic. You can hear the beeping noises. This Corolla is brand spanking new, only has 42 miles on it. And this is the first time I ever had one-on-one time with this model Corolla. I literally ran into it 30 minutes ago. Toyota did a fine job with these seats. More thought was put into them. The backrest is bolstered nicely on the sides, bottom section too. You don't feel pinched at all, and I'm 6'1", and I feel quite comfortable here. Thigh support is lacking some, and again the seat isn't powered, and I would have wished for a little bit more support here, but it's not awful. It's nice and wide. Even the room down in the footwell is generous. I'm not pinched, and my leg isn't rubbing against the center stack here. Lots of shoulder room too, and the B-pillar doesn't intrude with elbow comfort here. Quality's up on the dashboard. Pretty good. Everything is soft to the touch, even over the cover. Glove box is massive, and that little button right there, that's to reset the TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. It has dual latches, so it won't flap around even in the biggest of bumps. Now we meet the clock from 1985 again. You can adjust the hours and minutes. An indicator for the airbag will let you know whether if the passenger side airbag is on or off, so there is a sensor within this seat that senses whether if there's somebody sitting in there. Now check out the infotainment center here. Toyota calls it Entune. This is a dumbed down version of it. It's still functional. You can still control your phone, your music, and etc. Everything is responsive, and so is the screen as well. As soon as you touch anywhere, it goes, boom. Say, activate Bluetooth. I'm just touching whatever here, but you guys get the idea. The hazards, in-dash CD, the digital automatic climate control. It's a nice touch. I love this blue LCD screen here. I'm sure some of you know that I'm not a huge fan of the piano black finish. It's just a scratch and dust magnet, but it works in this car in an odd way. I prefer a brushed aluminum, but it doesn't look bad within this interior at all, but you can see my point there. There's dust right there, and it's hard to avoid it. Whether if you clean it up right now, within a few minutes or hours, there's going to be dust on it all over again. And it's used throughout this dashboard here from end to end, as you see right there. Moving down, power outlet, USB and aux jack. Now for 2014, Toyota ditched the 4-speed automatic, which cursed the predecessor. We got a CVT here, a continuously variable transmission. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but I would take a CVT over a 4-speed, considering this car, which only makes do with 132 horsepower. Though you do get manual shift mode. There's also paddle shifters here on the steering wheel, so that's pretty nice. And again, it's in line with competitors such as the Honda Civic, which also received a CVT for this year, and also with Nissan and etc. So you won't feel any gear changes. Though the 2014 Corolla still does offer a 4-speed automatic, but only in the L model, which is the most basic Corolla. The L model, fortunately, isn't available within this dealership or in this entire region, so I guess that's a bright side. It was pretty much meant for fleet sales, such as car rental agencies. You can also have this car with a 6-speed manual. Qualities throughout the center console. Everything is a plastic finish. Traction control. The sport mode pretty much changes the manners of the CVT. The dual cup holders, you can remove this divider here if you wish. The center console armrest is nicely padded. I do like the exposed stitching. There's actually 2 sections with this armrest cover here. Open it up that way, and you have a decent amount of storage down there. And the entire center console itself is sure-footed. Let me open the other latch, and you have this upper tray here. I guess it becomes useful. It doesn't slide forward, though. I do like how the steering wheel is leather wrapped. Love the exposed stitching, the side bolsterings. You also have the steering wheel controls, hands-free control functions right there. Again, the paddle shifters, cruise down here. It's always been a Toyota thing to have it down there. Turn signal lever, you can hear the indicator. Put the headlamps on. I want to show you the LED headlamps later. And the fogs too. The instrument speed wipers, you can adjust the delay right there by turning this wheel. The steering wheel tilts and telescopes. The wrapper is still on the lever. Like so. The power mirrors and the panel dim functions. The headliner is actually plush. It doesn't feel like a bulletin board at all. The dome light, the sunroof. Show you how that works. Watching it tilt, it's a separate button to make it slide. Closes automatically, I just discovered that. Sun visors are also within the wrapper. They're not padded, but they're sturdy. You only have a mirror. There's no vanity light. Map lights and another dome lights. And same deal on the driver's side sun visor too. The trunk is just massive. But you do have to deal with these hinges here when you close it. So just be careful if you stuff it to the max. Again, you still have this massive trunk to deal with. Spare tires down there with its jack, its tools stowed on top. And the backup camera is located right under the Toyota logo. And of course, the spoiler lip right there. The back seat looks just as spacious. Before I get to that, materials on the door panel, everything is hard to the touch, though you still get a padded armrest. Little door pocket down there, store your water bottles. Seems to have lots of legroom there. There's no hump in the center to deal with. The backrest over here has a 60-40 split fold function. There's no center armrest. Pull on this pin and the backrest will tumble down, and it will give you access to a nice flat floor, and it will make this car have pretty good utility. And remember guys, I'm 6'1" and I have the seat adjusted to where I like, and that means it's all the way back in this case. Legroom isn't bad. It could have been worse. Even though my leg is cramming on the backrest, it's still a tolerable place to be in. This really isn't something that you can do in most cars of this class. Check out this little cup holder here. It is on the flimsy side, but hey, you have a cup holder. See if I work this correctly. Still, this back seat wasn't meant for people of over 6 feet tall. I can just feel my hair rubbing on the headliner. Now this 1.8 liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder really isn't anything new. It's basically a carryover from its predecessor, though it at least sports independent variable valve timing. It has only 132 horsepower, which really isn't a whole lot at all. There is an eco version of this engine. Gets you better MPGs, best in class MPGs by the way. I think 42 highway. You also get a little bit more horsepower too, 140 to be exact. Most competitors are getting a lot more than that. but it's just adequate and sufficient for most who would buy a Corolla. Sounds exactly the same as its predecessor. Alrighty, so we're going to go on a short test drive. I really can't test this car to the max or do any 0 to 60s. Yeah, I don't even know how this car drives. Again, it's my first time ever. You definitely feel the little rubber band effect with the CVT. Though, I do prefer it over the 4-speed. Really, the car feels exactly the same as its predecessor, minus CVT. The steering feels numb. But it is noticeably quieter, much less road noise. See if I can do a little sprint here. Can't do anything much, there's road work. Definitely acceleration is better. Makes better use of the engine's power, the 132 horsepower. Keeps revs up a lot higher. Again, I'm sorry if I'm chopping up this test drive, it's just that this really is a downright awful place to test drive a car. Now, I'm going to try the paddle shifters. We're going to goose it a little bit. Yeah, it's not bad. I think I'd even use that often if I ever had to drive one of these. Simulates a 6-speed automatic. Now, despite this being an awful road, this car does a great job absorbing the bumps. Again, this really isn't a car for enthusiasts. You have other competitors for that, such as the Honda Civic Si, the Ford Focus ST, but even in regular forms, those cars have more spirited driving experiences. This car, it's still the quiet, yet buzzy and isolated Corolla that we're familiar with. I mean, if you want any sort of fun from this car, fetch the Corolla with the 6-speed manual. That gearbox will help you ignore all of the downfalls. If you're a buyer who's just searching for a reliable yet comfortable and roomy car, then the Corolla will be perfect. You really can't go wrong with this car at all. And it will hold its resale value. Go over to Hyundai or even Ford, the resale value will tank in no time. If you happen to be in the Cleveland area and in search of a brand new Toyota, Honda, or Scion, come on down to Motorcars Toyota and get in touch with James, who'll be more than happy to sell you one. Motorcars also has pre-owned vehicles, and this is the only place in the area where you can fetch a lifetime powertrain warranty, only at Motorcars with the new vehicles. So guys, thanks for watching, and I really hope you all enjoyed this tour.